Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy BoogeyMan Ben here for another episode of BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone, and this is part 5 of my Halloween countdown to Halloween movie series retrospective. Hope everyone's enjoying this. Today is going to be talking about the 5th film in the franchise, which was, get it out of the set here, and that was Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers, which would come out 1 year after Halloween 4. This came out in the fall of 1989, and it was another film that I saw opening weekend in the theater. I was very excited to see what was going to happen just because of the amazing ending of Halloween 4, which I still think is one of the scariest endings of all time of the entire franchise. Unfortunately for me, Halloween 5 did not live up to my expectations and is probably one of my least favorite films in the series. That's not to say that there aren't things that I love about this film. Number one, Danielle Harris. She is fantastic in this film. One of the things that they did to the character was kind of strange. You didn't know what was going to happen after the events of Halloween 4. But the thing I have to say about Halloween 5 is that they took it in kind of a predictable way. But the fact that she's mute for like a good portion of the film is kind of strange. But saying that, Danielle Harris still does an amazing job acting. And again, she was like 11 years old when she shot this film. She does an amazing job acting, not being able to speak. I mean, it just shows the tremendous range on this young girl. And I can't say enough great things about her. She's fantastic. Again, Ellie Cornell, her performance in this is fantastic as always, but unfortunately, she's not in the film as much, and I'll get to that point later. I do love, of course, Donald Pleasance in this, who is fantastic again as Dr. Loomis, returning for the 4th time to the role. They made him a little bit too eccentric, I think, in this film. He always had those moments in the previous 3 films that he had been in where he kind of, was getting frustrated and, he said, "I tell you, Michael Myers is here in this town." But it seems like in this film, he was always like that. And I felt like it made him... It cheapened the character in some ways, but I mean, Pleasance still nails it and is still a complete professional doing the role and the work, and is one of the main highlights of the film next to Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell. My problems with the film is the film just feels disjointed. The narrative in this and who you're supposed to be following and rooting for just doesn't work, and I know that they went through several screenwriters for the film, and it just feels like that. It feels like several people wrote this film. My biggest problem with it, and it's unfortunate because I think she's a very nice woman. I've seen her in documentary about the film that's part of this collection. But Wendy Kaplan as Tina is just too much. I understand they were trying to bring somebody into the series that was a little bit more, free-spirited and things like that, but she just comes across as grating. Plus, the other thing and it's nothing against her performance, it's just the way that it was written. Also, her friends in it, they're okay, but the heart of Halloween 4 was Rachel and Jamie. The fact that they kill Rachel off, 15 minutes into the movie is heartbreaking, and it's one of the deaths in a horror film that still pisses me off to this day. Ellie Cornell was fantastic as Rachel. I would put her in the same shoes as Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode. I absolutely loved the Rachel character. I really hate the fact that they killed her off the way they did. Initially, she was supposed to get killed much more brutally and gruesomely, and I'm glad they did rewrite it. And I felt like with this film, they were trying to make things a little bit more over the top. And I understand why they were trying to do it because of the marketplace, but it just it takes away from the the groundwork that John Carpenter laid with the original film. The film for me is just all over the place. The fact that they also introduced a character, the Man in Black, who was this ambiguous character that just kind of you see every so often. There was rumors that he was going to become a big character in part 6, and that he would be somehow linked to Michael Myers via a family member or something like that. I mean, it was interesting to see him, but there was just some things about this film that just don't work. The other thing I had a big problem with in this film is the way that the Myers house looked. Now, in the other films where the Myers house was showcased, it wasn't in part 4, but it was in part 1 and 2. It was just a normal looking house, and this is like this big gothic mansion, and it just... I just don't understand why they went that route. The continuity there is completely off, and it just really bothered me. I do think the finale is pretty good. It does sort of set up like, oh, this could be awesome for part 6, and I'll talk about part 6 in my next segment. But, you know, it was kind of an interesting last 15 minutes of the film. It was originally supposed to be Donald Pleasance's swan song as Loomis. Loomis was supposed to die in this film, and they kind of made it look like he did die in the film, and that was really disappointing for me because Donald Pleasance and Dr. Loomis go hand in hand with the franchise for me at this point, and I was really upset that he was possibly not going to be in part 6. But again, you know, it's still a film I watch. There's still things about it I enjoy. I think Don Shanks was a good Michael Myers. I think he did a great job. Scenes in the film that I really enjoy when he's chasing Jamie in the car. I think that scene is really impactful. I think the final showdown in the Myers house, even though it's this big gothic mansion, it makes no sense. Like I said, Ellie Cornell, Daniel Harris, Donald Pleasance, and Bo Starr returning as Ben Meeker. All of them are fantastic in the film. You know, not my favorite film in the series. Probably one in my the bottom half of the series. If I had to give this one a rating on my scale, I would give Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers 2 skulls. So that is my review of Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. Please stay tuned for part 6 of this segment where I will be talking about Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And that one is going to be really interesting because there are 2 versions of that film and I will be covering both of them. So I hope everyone is enjoying this segment. Please let me know what you think in the comments section below. Love to hear from everyone. And as always, thanks so much for watching BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone, and I will talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace.